Welcome to the most insane, honest, power rankings in the NFL. I'm your NFL curse expert, Brandon Perna, and it's time for the very first 2023 NFL Power Rankings episode. Since it is week 1, I'm dropping my 14 top NFL teams in today's episode since, 14 teams are allowed in the playoffs every year. If you're new to my power rankings, well, get ready to be confused, annoyed, and most importantly, turned on. Every week I spin this little wheel at the end of the episode, and whichever number it lands on, it curses the team with the coinciding power ranking number. Are curses real though? Of course they are. They're more real than the NFL salary cap, more real than Tom Brady's wife, and more real than Antonio Brown's charitable contributions to the world. Let's find out if your team's gonna suck week 1 power rankings. Starting at 14, and I'm already going to cheat here. Instead of one team, I'm just going to list every team I think is good or has a chance to be good this season, good enough to make the playoffs. The Browns, the Ravens, the Broncos, the Titans, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Patriots.
Oh yeah, and the Giants. I keep forgetting about those pesky Giants.
You're all capable of turning heads this season, but since we haven't played any real football yet, I'm not going to give you the time until you earn my respect, which is pretty easy to get. Just win in week 1, and there's a good chance you'll be in here week 2. Number 13, I've got the Commanders. Ooh, ballsy. Ron Rivera said had he known Sam Howell was any good last year, he would have started him. I don't like that. I think a coach's primary job is knowing which quarterbacks on his team are good. Saying that even in a humorous way is like being on a date, and then the girl tells you that the reason she and her last boyfriend broke up is because she cut his dick off in a moment of rage. It's a red flag. But I did an entire video about the Commanders, hyping them as a sleeper team. So yeah, I had to put them here. Plus, PFT was kind enough to send me this.
I'm a full-on believer in the Howell band. Sam Howell looks pretty good. And he doesn't have to be great. He just has to be pretty good. Even if he stinks, hell, that's awesome too, because then we'll probably get a top pick, maybe Caleb Williams. But for now, I'm a believer in the Howell band. We beat the toughest record in sports to beat, broke the longest streak, the Ravens. So that was a Super Bowl. Josh Harris looks like a very friendly guy, shaking all the hands. We've got sweat and pain. It's like a sauna. Our defensive line, I'm calling it the sauna this year. And then you also have Jonathan Allen, one of the best players in football. Chase Young, if we can get anything out of Chase Young, including trade him for a couple draft picks, that'd be great too. But they're both on contract years. So I'm very happy to know that one of the two of them is probably going to be awesome this year. Here's what I'll say about the running back position. This year, our lead running back has not been shot. So that's good. That's what you want heading into the season. Last year, Robinson was pretty good. In fact, he's like a bruiser. I like watching him, but it's never good starting the season with him with 2 bullet holes in his leg. So Rivera's probably going to get fired. Eric Bieniemy, great. We got our guy. So we've got Patrick Mahomes as a system quarterback, as you know, as Broncos fans. So now we've got the system. Eric Bieniemy, we got the system. We're either going to win 10 games or we're going to win 3 games. Maybe 4. I hope there's no middle ground, but I'm thinking 10. We're thinking tensies. Left hand up.
Huge thanks to PFT. Make sure you follow him on Twitter and to subscribe to the Pardon My Take YouTube channel. Number 12, Steelers. What would happen if Kenny Pickett tried to massage Deshaun Watson with his tiny baby hands? I don't know, guys, but I do think about those things. Number 11, the New York Jets. Well, they did the impossible. They made Aaron Rodgers feel like he has a family. Assuming their defense is as good as it was last year, which was 4th best in points allowed per game, they're going to be a very good football team. I have them at 11 though because they opened the week on Monday Night Football against the Bills, a tough opponent for a quarterback on a new roster. Ask Russell Wilson how that went last year, or Tom Brady in his first Bucs game week 1 against the Saints. The really good news for the Jets, though, is that both Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook will play on Monday night. I don't expect much from either in their first game back, coming off of injuries, but the fact that they will both get some live reps is huge. A huge positive for the Jets, especially knowing their season ended last year when Breece Hall went down with his ACL. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com/goodsports. Now, Manscaped reached out to me to ask what I wanted to promote this month, and I picked the Handyman again for the big football month because I love this cheeky little bastard. Shaves your cheeks. I've used this sleek petite beast to mow down my neck hairs every single time I've traveled this summer. It's compact, which makes it easier than traveling with shaving cream and a razor, and it gives just as good of a shave as I get with the razor. If it didn't, I would not be promoting this again. It has 2 blades that make that happen, a standard foil shaver, and a long hair leveler, which can knock down 3 days worth of growth. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can use it in the ocean, waterfalls, or the sewer. The 3 most common places men shave on a day-to-day basis. Now use my link below, manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off your order right now. The link is below, which is handy, just like the handyman. The handyman can. The handyman can. Number 10, Chargers or Cowboys. The Chargers choke so hard that I think they're technically using a breathing tube now because that L is still lodged in their esophagus. Both teams have very good QBs in Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott. Are they elite? Nobody can say that yet, but I put you both at 10 for one specific reason. Kellen Moore. I guess it's Kellen less in Dallas. Now, last season, I'm in peak form. He was the Cowboys offensive coordinator, and after another brutal loss in the postseason to the 49ers, Dallas fired him, using him as a scapegoat. The Chargers fired their OC, Joe Lombardi, as a scapegoat as well. Now, Kellen Moore is the Chargers offensive coordinator. People think he can save the Chargers offense, which got a reputation for becoming dink and dunk artists last year. And that's the second worst artist to be. First, of course, is graffiti artist. You're criminals. You are criminals. Stop decorating overpasses and train cars. You make me sick. It's not art, it's crime. So either the Cowboys are right and Moore is terrible, or the Chargers are right and he's great. Now, if both the Chargers and Cowboys have the 2 best offenses in the NFL, well then nothing makes sense, does it? Number 9, the 49ers. Just a straight up weird offseason for San Francisco. They traded former 3rd overall pick Trey Lance to the Cowboys, whom I'm assuming will use him as a center in the playoffs. Nick Bosa is holding out, and they're taking way too long to get that deal done. The excitement of watching him and free agent beast Javon Hargrave on that D-line is now on hold. Brock Purdy had to recover from elbow surgery after a miraculous rookie season that saved the team. All I want to see is Brock Purdy continued to throw the ball to George Kittle. George Kittle, before Brock Purdy took over last year, 4 touchdowns. Kittle, after Purdy, 8 touchdowns. And his only 100-yard game of the season. Please get Kittle back into the best tight end conversation. The Travis Kelce reign of terror is getting boring. Oh, what? Oh, Kittle's hurt and might not play week 1? Shit, never mind. Number 8, Seahawks. Geno Smith earned himself a contract last year, and even though the Seahawks hurt me every chance they get, I am truly rooting for Geno Smith to have another great season. It's incredible how much Geno accomplished, even though he admitted last season that he never learned to fucking read.
I ain't right back, though.
Seattle won the draft this year and last year, bringing in the near consensus best corner with their Russell Wilson pick, Devin Witherspoon, who will play opposite Tariq Woolen, last year's rookie corner who had 6 picks and finished 3rd in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. They drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba to give them a trio of receivers that may compete with the Bengals for best in the league. They also drafted UCLA running back Zach Charbonnet to play behind Kenneth Walker, giving Pete Carroll the exact run-first offense and talented young defense he won a Super Bowl with back in 2013. Plus, with players named Michael Jackson and Kobe Bryant, they've got the most ghost power of any team in the league. Number 7, the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa learned to fall this offseason without getting a concussion and started going after anyone who said his legs were thick.
I'd appreciate if you kept my name out your mouth. That's what I'd say.
Best Tua is salty Tua.
Now, Miami may still be in play for a Jonathan Taylor trade with the Colts, And in a moment of desperation, they did have to sign Eli Apple after their big acquisition. Jalen Ramsey went down with an injury at the corner position. But Miami may have won the offseason simply by signing old and wise defensive coordinator
Meatball.
Besides rolling meatballs, all Vic Fangio's defenses do is give opponents headaches. And for the first time since 2018, he's coaching a defense that could have an offense top 10 in scoring opposite, all right? In 2018, that team was the Bears, and they got to the playoffs and then doinked themselves out of it. His defense helped them have a positive point differential of 138. That was the Bears' best since losing the Super Bowl in 2006.
You guys are terrible evaluators, and go f yourself.
Thank you, Mike.
Number 6, the Lions. Lions fans are now terrified that since people believe their team is good, they will suddenly be horrible again. It's okay, Detroit. You're safe. You're safe. The bad man is gone. The Dan man is good. Okay, you're fine. Jared Goff. He's my favorite underrated QB in the league. That said, he does need to back up last season, his best in my opinion, with another great year of the Goffense. I actually think Detroit is going to beat the Chiefs week 1. I think it will be a shootout, which we have seen Goff win before against Mahomes in prime time. I think the Lions' defense is going to be vastly improved. I think linebacker Jack Campbell will show why Detroit was smart to take him in the first round. Aiden Hutchinson will do the impossible and sack Patty Mahomes twice. But the mismatch is that nasty Lions O-line going against a KC D-line without Chris Jones. As long as no Lions players are caught placing fucking sports bets during this game, they will win. Number 5, the Bengals. Luckily, Joe Burrow is mostly recovered from his calf injury, we think. I think tight end Irv Smith was a sneaky good ad for the Bengals this offseason, and they've revamped the offensive line for the second straight year. Now, Dax Hill will make Bengals fans forget that they let both Von Bell and Jesse Bates walk in free agency. Their 95.5 rushing yards last year was 4th worst in the league, so Joe Mixon, not effective, and the beloved Samaje Perine, gone, now in Denver. Either Mixon needs to return to 2021 form where he had 1,200 rushing yards, or Trayvon Williams, Chase Brown, or Chris Evans needs to emerge as that change of pace guy for the Bengals to go all the way. It was a huge week for the Colorado Buffaloes, and now former Buff Cheeto Bay-Awuzie has been cleared to play after tearing his ACL last November. That's a huge boost for the Bengals secondary week 1. Number 4, the Buffalo Bills. Everyone knows the Bills are my side chick, my second favorite team. I love them so much, which should show you how sick I am. My Broncos let me down every year, so I choose to root for the team that is most famous for losing 4 Super Bowls in a row? Why do I hate myself? Anyway, Damar Hamlin survived death to rejoin the Bills this season. If Josh Allen doesn't stop turning the ball over in the red zone, I expect Hamlin to walk up to him and say, "Bruh, I didn't literally leave heaven for this shit, okay? Make better decisions in the red zone, and we're unstoppable." Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles may have lost the Super Bowl, but they played well in that game. They scored 34.7 points per game in the postseason, which was the most. They also had 177 rushing yards per game, and I think even though Miles Sanders is gone, they got better in their backfield with DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. Health pending. They lost a key piece on that defense in Javon Hargrave, but may have actually upgraded when they drafted Jalen Carter at pick 10. If he lives up to the nickname Baby Rhino and Nakobe Dean, now healthy, returns to being one of the best linebackers in America like he was his final season at Georgia, Philly's gonna win the NFC again. Number 2, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right, we're all jagging off this year. One of the more hyped teams this offseason is the Jaguars. And after their playoff comeback win over the Chargers and near win against Kansas City, rightfully so. As long as Trevor Lawrence doesn't cut his hippie-ass hair, he will become a complete QB in year 3. The guy who could be a game changer for the Jags is 2022's first overall pick, Trayvon Walker. Just 3.5 sacks last year as a rookie and 36 pressures. Not good for a first overall pick. George Karlaftis had more and played in fewer snaps. But the reason nobody thought he should go number 1 is because he was raw, needed to develop a little bit. The Jags were banking on his athleticism. Well, Let's see if he did develop. And playing opposite Josh Allen, there's a chance the Jags have a top 10 pass rush if Walker lives up to the hype. And number 1, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't lost a season opener since 2014, so fuck you. And I hope Chris Jones holds out forever and your entire team is put in jail for robbery. Specifically for robbing me of joy for the last 7 years, you fucking pricks. I will see you all in hell. All right, now let's spin this curse wheel and see which week 1 team gets cursed. It better be a team I hate. Good to be back, curse wheel. I hope you enjoyed the off season and your power is stronger than ever. Number 9. Oh, it's the 49ers. That is interesting. Brock Purdy, not gonna be good this year. Nick Bosa never comes back. Ooh. Thanks for watching the Week 1 Power Rankings here on That's Good Sports. Please come back for another video or check out my 2016 Year in Sports Balls Deep episode that I uploaded yesterday.